Yeah, hi there. My comments here are for Oscar, and I am Michael Buckoff, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-Step System to Pass a TOEFL IBT. And you said, I've been enrolled in your course since August 4th, almost 3 months. I think I have had some progress, especially in the speaking, because I had no idea how the TOEFL format was. All right. But 2 days ago I paid for the full test on Score Nexus, and it was not what I expected. So my score in reading is 19. You had 21 points on listening. You had 20 points on speaking and 8 points on writing for a total of 68. So your goal here is 85. You say, at least I know I don't have the skills to take the real test because I wanted to take it on November 5th. And guess what? You just saved yourself $200 by getting this information, and the practice test you took only cost $34. Think about that for a minute. All right, so let's take a look at, you had a question here. You say, I have some doubts on the speaking section. I did what you suggested. For example, the first question was, what is the most important characteristics you look for in a friend? My answer was, one of the most important characteristics is honesty, and that he or she needs to be smart. And then you use specific details about honesty. Then you follow that with being intelligent, and then you finished. And then the grader says you could have done better if you'd only used one option instead of two and develop reasons. Okay, so you had a question on that. Yeah, I think that what the IBT speaking specialist, the advice that he gave you is accurate, because it says what is one of the most important characteristics. So it's probably better to focus on either honesty or smart, and then you can take the remainder of your time to develop why you think that quality is important. But if you talk about both qualities, it doesn't give you enough time to really develop each of those points. So I agree with the advice that the IBT speaking specialist gave, because remember, you're trying to show that you can give details, adequate supporting details for the ideas that you're arguing in those responses. So I think that advice was sound. But now what you're not asking me here is the writing. Your writing is 8 points out of 30. Let's face it here. This is why you're not getting your 85. You need to make improvements in the writing area. This is where you need to do most of your practice. Now, as you know, in my online course, I have over 40 independent writing practice tests. I have 43 integrated writing practice tests for you today, and start doing more of the writing practice. I think that's going to be a better fit for you right now, because you really have to look at this practice test and then say, okay, what do I need to do from now in order to get the improvements I need to reach my target score? And if you look at 8, let's face it, what if you get 15 points higher in the writing section? That puts you at 23 points on the writing, and that's going to really bring up your overall score. So if you can make some really big improvements in the writing area, you need to make some improvements in the reading area, and that tells you where you need to study in my online TOEFL course in order to improve. You see what I'm saying? Now, I'm going to make a suggestion here. I have an additional service where I will error correct one of your independent writing practice tests. I will also error correct one of your integrated writing practice tests. If you want to do this, it does cost some additional money. If you make an additional payment of $50, I will read and error correct one of those practice tests, because I think we need to see what's going on with your writing here. What is happening that's causing you to get such a low score here, because we need to address that issue. Now, my guess, it's a combination probably of some vocabulary problems, some grammar problems, and also some organizational issues. So if you let me do that, I will do error correction of an independent and an integrated writing practice test. The total cost there will be an additional $100. And I can figure out from those two practice tests what's going on and what's causing you to score so low, and then how you can improve from there. Now, you don't have to do this, but if you want some additional information, you should do that. Now, if you don't take advantage of this service, keep practicing writing practice tests. The more that you do it, the better you're going to be. If you know somebody who can read and help you error correct the essay, I would really strongly encourage you to take advantage of that. All right, Oscar? Anyway, thank you very much for your questions and keep up the good work.